going to be working on a Royal Enfield Continental GT. This is a 2020 model. It is the Dr. Mayhem paint scheme. We're going to be putting some fork boots on it, so that should give some nice protection to the forks and also give it a cool blacked out look. So let me get set up and we'll join you back. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the fender. What we're trying to do is get the wheel out, and so we need the fender off. We're going to take the brake off after that, and then get this axle out and pull the wheel off. So we're going to work on this. Helps if I loosen instead of tighten. So this is, I should have checked before. Alright, now that I'm all loosened up, let me pull this off and then I'll join you back in a sec. So next step is we need to get the axle off. So I am using, I think it's a metric size, but a 15/16 works. So I'm using that to undo the axle nut. We've got a nut and a washer on that. And then we have on the other side, the pinch bolt's going to be 6mm. And you take that out. So the pinch bolt is out, and now the axle, you just pull it and twist. You want to hold the wheel for me? Thanks. Got it? Cool. Alright, so we've got the wheel off. So now we've got our 6mm, and we're going to hit these bolts here, and we're going to take the bolt off the triple tree, and then also these clip-ons. One of the things I wanted to do before we started this, I wanted to get a reference of where we were in relation to the top of the tree with the forks. So measured it, and it is 11mm exposed to the top, so we're going to make sure that we keep that in mind when we slide the fork back up. Alright, so it looks like I'm going to take the bucket off just to get to the bracket easier. Just trying to avoid this, but might not be as big of a deal as I thought. Now we can get in there. We just took these two, I believe it was a 13mm bolt off there and lowered it down. We should be able to get in here now with an Allen key. Going back to our 5mm to get this broken loose. Alright. Alright, so just leave everything here. We've got the fork blade out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this up, and then I'll join you back once I get it all cleaned up, because we're not going to be getting back up under here, so I might as well clean it now. Alright, so we got the fork blade out. It's clean-ish, and we're going to take our fork boot. There's a little groove here on the fork, and there's a little edge on this fork boot, so I think what you want to do is slide it down and just work it around there so it connects there. There you go. So now we'll work to slide this right back up at the bottom. Make sure everything's lined up. I'm going to go back up to my 11. At this point, just tighten down one of the bolts. It should hold everything in place. Then you can check everything, make sure it looks good still. Alright, so that looks good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to bolt everything back down. We'll do the same exact thing on this side, and then I'll join you back shortly. Boots on, the forks are back in place. Another thing we did while we were doing all this is we dropped the clip-ons down a little bit. Hopefully that'll be comfortable, a little bit more aggressive ride is what we were looking for. Now the next step is to get the wheel back in. So we've got to make sure that we've got this part back on the axle and it clips into a little piece on the fork. You want to help me now?
Yeah, I was like, want to help lifting the wheel? So
yeah, help line it up. There we go. Line it up. You want to come towards me more?
Yeah. Got it.
Alright, thanks. So that you want to... Okay, so we have the axle and the wheel in. We're going to get the pinch bolt cinched down. And right now I'm just tightening everything up, and I will work on getting the everything torqued down correctly. Got to look up the torque specs. The axle nut tighten down. So you want to slide the caliper onto the disc. And bolt that back to the forks. Now with this, you can see kind of how it's oriented on the sensor. So hopefully you guys can see this, but you put it here and it's going to kind of wrap around where the hole is and go against the sensor itself. So that goes in between the sensor. Plug that back in. Alright. Brakes are working. Next is we're going to get the fender back on. And then what I'll do is, job's pretty much done. I will put torque specs for everything in the description of the video. Last couple pieces that we're going to do is put the fender back on and then orient the fork boots the way you want. These happen to have the Royal Enfield logo on them, so I think we'll put those to the side. And then these clips, there are screws and nuts here. Alright, for the triple tree and the handlebars, we're going to do 20 Newton meters, which I believe is about 14.7 foot-pounds of torque. So I just go through here and make sure everything's torqued down to that spec. Alright, for the brake caliper, we're going to go with 33 foot-pounds to get those cinched down. Alright, so we've got everything together, and now I am going to torque down the pinch bolt here. It's going to be 20 foot-pounds on this. Got to set it first to 20. then we're going to be 50 on the actual nut. Alright, so we switch this to 50. Alright, so I think we're all done. So the only thing we do left is get it off the lift, take it for a test drive, and that's it. So I've tightened these up, just hand tight for now, and we'll make sure it looks good when it's on the ground, and then we'll tighten it back up. With these, if you wanted to, for some reason, I'm not sure why you would want to, you could actually lower the fork boots down and hold them on. You'd have a little silver there. I think it would look stupid, but you do you. So, all right, thanks for watching, and all the torque specs will be in the description. Any questions, let me know. Thanks, bye.